Hi, welcome to our tassel tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make the tassels that I often put on the corners of my blanket or a cushion. Here is one in the lovely ocean rainbow colourway. So what you're going to need for your tassels is a pair of sharp scissors, a yarn needle with a wide eye, some yarn, and something to the size of roughly the size of the tassel you want the final length to be. I often use my mobile phone to wind the yarn around, but it's busy filming this tutorial, so in this case I've got this notebook. It's about 7.5 centimeters across or 3 inches, and I find that makes the perfect length. Okay, and we're just going to wind the yarn, so popping one end, or you can hold it securely with your thumb, but I've got a notebook, so it's quite handy to just pop it in there and hold the notebook tight. Let's wind around 40 times. It's always fun seeing that ocean rainbow colourway changing colour as we wind, and then just chop the end of your yarn and set it aside, and we'll come back for the next bit. Right, for this next bit you need to cut a couple of lengths off the yarn you've just wound, about, say, about 12 inches 30 centimeters long. Picking up one of them, setting the other aside, just thread up your needle and then tucking that bit of yarn out the way, just thread this through, leaving an end about 10 centimeters 4 inches or so long. That's what we're going to use to tie onto the blanket or the cushion. Go through once, twice, and I like to go 3 times just for extra security, and then just move that up to the top of your phone or your notebook, so it's opposite the other end. You can let go of the needle now and just do 2 or 3 really good knots like so, and then you're ready to slide this off your phone or your notebook. We'll dispense with that now. So holding these 2 bits at the top, because you don't want to cut those, find the center of your winding, not quite sure what to call that, insert your scissors, and pulling it quite nice and tight, just chop your way through those loops until you've got all of them, and you'll know that because they'll stick either side like that. Oops, I've got a bit through. Our thing has gone a bit, not quite sure what happened there. Tighten that up. One more loop there. Right, keeping our 2 strands at the top, pulling all the others down. Just make sure they're lying nicely. Picking up our second length of yarn that we cut just now, lay it flat like that and slightly longer than all the lengths of tassel you've got there. Just wind it round about 5, 6, maybe 7 times. And I estimate this top knot by usually using about the length of my forefinger. I'd say that's what, about 1 centimetre or half an inch. But you can put it slightly further down if you want. It makes no difference, it's just what you prefer. Then finding the end that we were using for this yarn, again do a couple of really tight knots. Like so. And then you can drop those, and then all you've got to do is pull them all nice and tight and just trim to the same length. I like to go in, let's get rid of that one, 2 or 3 times, just pulling them nice and taut. Just making sure they're all roughly the same length. And there you go. One lovely little tassel, and in the next part of the video I will show you how to attach it to the corner of a blanket. So here's a blanket I made earlier, so I'm just getting rid of all these bits of dust. This is very sheddy yarn when you start cutting it around. Here's a little blanket, and I'm going to attach, imagine it's a big blanket, I'm going to attach this tassel to the corner. So all I do is thread up one of those strands onto the needle, and then getting a good wodge of the crochet or knitting or whatever. You don't want to just take one strand because that will pull out. Getting several bits of yarn, lengths of yarn under your needle, go in again 2 or 3 times, pull it nice and tight, and then attaching it to your other strand. Let's give it a couple of good knots. Right, you're left with those ends there, so thread them back onto the needle. We're going to get rid of them simply by taking them down through the centre of the tassel. So you push your needle through and pull them right off, and as you can see your tassel is now nice and firmly secured. And then you'll just want to neaten up those ends again, get rid of the ones we've just pulled through, like so, and there you have it, a tassel attached to your blanket or your cushion.